Hey guys, welcome back. Robocraft early access coverage. This is episode 94. I'm Igneous, and today, 4 new matches. We got 2 in Pretty Hate Machine and 2 in the Flying Squirrel. A little bit bizarre in every one. This megabot. Look at all the different colors in this bot. I think they go all the way down to tier 5. If I'm not mistaken, pink is tier 5? I don't quite know. I think pink is tier 5, yellow is tier 6. Blue is tier 7. There's no red on there for tier 8. 9 is purple. And black is tier 10. So yeah, he goes all the way down to tier 5. I just want to point out to people who are putting together their megabots that, you know, you buy the guns and you buy the tires, and if you can't afford at least, say, tier 9 blocks to assemble the rest of it, you're not doing anyone any favors by cobbling it together with whatever you have left lying around in your garage bay after you worked your way up through the tiers. And I was pretty proud of that shot. That guy, fortunately, he was lit by a teammate, and I saw him coming around the corner, and then I had a shot waiting for him that had to be a little bit jarring, but all things considered, it was probably the highlight of the entire match. So, having just seen him peeking around, I didn't want to rush around the corner and find him and 4 of his buddies, but I see there's a bunch of enemies pushing around here. There's a rail gunner, we got a flyer up there. They're basically doing a pretty good job of surrounding us for all practical intents and purposes, and then the rail gunner, being smart, empties all of his guns and then he ducks behind cover to reload. So we've got a bunch of guys coming up from behind us. They're clearly much faster than us. Our megabot has decided that he just doesn't want to fight in this match, I guess, because he's headed all the way around over here. And I'm trying to decide where I fit into this whole mess of things. It's really kind of frustrating when everywhere you go you're being shot in the ass by enemy SMGs, and you never actually encounter the enemy front on because you're trying to support the mega, and the mega is just taking the longest possible routes to get anywhere or do anything. He basically went around the entire map, short of stopping on the enemy base. And now he's finally involved, but it's a little bit too late. We've already lost half of our team, and now it's just about the numbers. Specifically, the enemy has more, and we're not going to survive. That's basically what it comes down to. There were a couple of shots in this match where I hit a bot that then exploded, and I got no credit at all for the kill. And it's one of like that. I don't know if it was the guy ahead of me who just kind of shot immediately before mine, and he got the kill, or if it was lag something. It doesn't matter. It happened twice at least in this match, and I was just like, wow, how do I have no kills yet in this match? And then I just said, well, we're gonna lose anyway, so it doesn't really matter. At this point, it's realistically trying to kind of string out the enemy a little bit and get them spread out, so if they're in the death blob, we don't have to encounter them all at once. Otherwise it would be a 6-on-2, 6-on-3. Now it's a 6-on-2 now. Not the best situation to find yourself in, and at this point it's kind of like, well, I could self-destruct just to get back to the garage and get into another match sooner, because it doesn't matter. Me and this guy, we're not going to take out 6 enemy bots. They've started capping. But, you know, maybe we can accumulate a little bit of RP, take some shots, you know, punish the enemy a little bit for having the audacity to beat us. This guy, it's the low-slung cruisers that seem to be the constant pain to destroy, because you can't get under them. You have to go through their electric plates. It's very, very difficult, and here comes, this is the greatest insult. When the enemy team is just so completely dominant that they can send their medics after you to peel off all your weapons and chew a gigantic hole in your ass. It's fantastic. Well, at least it's over. We can say it's over now. The suffering is over. This guy, he's probably going to hang on a little bit longer. It's one of those obnoxious little sausage builds with electroplates all over. Of course, they cap and spare him the agony. That drawn-out process of being picked apart. Now this match goes quite a bit differently. Not necessarily surprisingly. Again, pushing up on this side, on this flank, to get an idea of where the enemy might be coming out from. So if I'm sitting up front here, I've got a good view of the bridge, and there's no enemies for the first, say, 30 to 60 seconds, and we have a pretty good reason to assume that they've either gone the opposite flank, or they're pushing through the middle leaning towards the opposite flank. So we can kind of keep an eye on things. This is one of the megabots that's using the... I'm not going to call it an exploit at this point. I think at this point it falls under the auspices of clever use of game mechanics. But I don't expect it to survive. They invert their electroplates and they mount their guns on the mounting points for the electroplates so that the gun mount has whatever 60,000 hit points or whatever that you would have to get through before the anti-umbrella mechanics will peel off their guns. It's clever. You got to give people credit for that, but I don't really expect that it's going to be sticking around for too long. It's a little bit outside the realms of balance. So here we can see the enemy is pretty much pushed through the middle, and we can assume the farther flank. But realistically speaking, as long as we're together as sort of a group, with several bots, ideally, then it's a pretty safe bet that we're going to be able to do at least some damage before we get swarmed under, if that's going to be sort of our destiny, is to get obliterated for some stupid reason, which just happens an awful lot. There was it was an SMG walker over on the far side, and I forgot to mention it as it was kind of playing out, the railgunner. Always with the railgunners, and there's 6, 7, 8, 9 guns these days. There's a SMG walker over on the hill over there, and one of my teammates spotted him, and I lobbed a lucky shot and I landed, and I guess I must have hit the ground and it splashed up and obliterated him in one hit. I never actually saw the bot. I don't think he ever actually saw more than the silhouette of a bot, and he was out of the match. Walkers, you gotta protect the underbelly. That's job one. Because that's what plasma does, is it spreads underneath and it goes directly up, and then whatever you've got under your pilot seat tends to evaporate pretty quickly. So here, I don't know why these guys are capping. I know it's kind of a thing. You're here, start capping, put pressure on the enemy, kind of make them split up, but lately people haven't been doing it smartly. The whole idea is if your team is in a good position and you start capping and you get to the third segment and your team is still in a good position, you get off the base circle and you go and finish the match, because it's so much more rewarding in terms of RP, tech points, if you still need tech points. All of these things, even experience to progress your CPU level. You get more if you take the time to go and kill the enemy, as opposed to just capturing the base at the earliest possible opportunity. So if you're one of those people who likes to get on the base circle as early as possible, say as soon as you drive past it, just keep that in mind to kind of gauge how well the match is progressing. And if it's looking like you're going to win on domination alone, get off the base circle after the third segment and earn the win that way. It's just a better way to do it. So that was a win on domination. Very happy about that. And then this is another case of really poor strategic decision, leaving me literally hung out to dry. It doesn't really matter where you go. If you're talking military strategy, whether you're talking about current doctrines, whether you're talking about Sun Tzu's Art of War, or simply Episode 3 of Star Wars, you never surrender the high ground. You never surrender the high ground. Megas who decide that they want to go up the middle, but they decide to go down into the valley first and then try and get up and away, it's just not smart. It puts the enemy at a dominant position when they can shoot down at you. It completely leaves all of your air with a bunch of enemy bots that aren't necessarily so interested in peeking over to shoot at you just yet, but they have a lot of other targets in the air to take shots at. And it takes you out of the fight for an unreasonable amount of time while you're going down and then back up. Pick a flank that doesn't require you to sacrifice the high ground. At the very least, stay on the same level as the enemies, so that if things do start to go crazy, if you do find yourself surrounded, like me now, you have a number of different routes that you can go that don't leave you in a position where you have to shoot up the enemy while they're shooting down at you. Now I've got basically fire coming in from all three directions. The front, the right, the left. There goes my last rotor. This match is basically over for me. And I'm not feeling too good about it. I feel like it was, again, an error made by the guy in the TX1 box in terms of the choice that they made. The team wasn't necessarily supporting him, and they sure as shit weren't supporting me. And I guarantee you I did not get a hero bonus for this match. I should point that out to you. I did not get a hero bonus. with this match. This is just a really kind of disappointing outing because the enemy has basically surrounded our entire team and everyone's going down and then back up. I don't need to stick around for that crap. I'm trying to get a daily done. I'm not... The medics aren't leaving the megabot and I'm not doing anything where I was. So, conversely, this started off a little bit disconcerting, a little bit, shall we say, signs that things couldn't necessarily go so well. See the megabot directly under me there? Stops to tell someone that he liked their truck. And then he starts up again. And now he's shooting backwards behind him. If he's shooting behind him, it means he's not looking where he's going. I know I scrutinize megabots. I know I pay extra close attention to what they're doing because call it a confirmation bias, if you will. I'm convinced that megabots in tier 10 have too much of an influence. And you can see he's kind of made his way out now and he's hiding behind the mountain. The rest of the team is up spotting for him. He's hiding. Megabot's hiding. Because he's not... All the other bots are tougher than him. He can't go out there by himself. That would be suicide. The hell is going on? And I'm seeing signs of medics, which is always a good sign. We had the one guy who went up ahead and kind of spotted for us, took a bit of a beating. He was just a little over 50% when he came back to the rest of the group. Unfortunately, it's that point in the match where the medics haven't glued themselves to the megabot yet. So they were able to kind of help him out and get him up and running. I want you to pay attention to how many rail shots I get hit with in this match. You can hear them now. Those aren't hitting me. Those are hitting a guy down on the ground. But it won't be long before they start hitting me. And when you read posts in PvP forums, there's always that segment of people who complain that something is underpowered. And if you say to those people, they're actually not that bad. If you A, B, and C, they argue, right? They don't want to acknowledge that maybe there's something that they're not doing right. They're just, I've tried it, I couldn't get it to work, therefore, it's underpowered. It has to be, because that's been my experience. And you say, well, no, according to, the way things are working out, it's not the way things are working. One of the things that has come up is that rotor blades are too weak in their current iteration, just like what people have been saying walker blades are too weak. They are weak. They're weak by design, because if you had super armored rotor blades, or even walker legs for that matter, it kind of wrecks the intrinsic balance of the components. The intrinsic balance means it's balanced within itself. So if you look at rotor blades, the benefit that they offer, controlled, fairly agile flight in multiple directions, has to come with something to offset that balance. In this case, they're a little bit weak. They're a little bit easy to shoot. It's the same with walker legs. And we're talking about rotor blades in this case, and the beating that I'm going to take from railguns. There's one actually up on the ridge over there. He's going to start shooting at me very soon here. It's the same with the walker legs. The walker legs allow you a measure of mobility over terrain that is hands down superior to wheels, for sure. And in most cases, also hover blades. And the downside is that they're large and they're weak. Here we go. Starting to take the hits. The weak copter that can't take the hits. We already took a barrage of hits before, and we spent a little bit of time down on the ground, sort of ducked down, laying low, trying to not draw attention to ourselves. We come back up, we take a couple more hits. Then I start watching what's going on here, and this is sort of, again, a strategic decision oh, he's shooting at me again. Here comes some more. Just keep on shooting there, sport. I'm actually going to kill him. That's the best part, is he's lobbing all the crap and he's shooting me, and it's such a pain in the ass. It's such a jarring sound when you get hit with a rail gun, and I'm just going to clobber the bastard. There he goes. Actually, no, that wasn't it. I think this one. Yeah, that's the one. That's very satisfying. But now look at my bot. Look at how much is left of my bot. It's like half the chassis is gone and over half of my rotor blades. But look at all the medics down here on the megabot. And the megabot has decided he's not going to fight until he gets some more healing love. He's just barely peeking out. He's not really shooting anything, and he's not really being all that useful at all. And this is the point where I'm like, I've been doing the best I can with the bot that's just been taking a hammering from railguns that this megabot wishes he could survive. If he's not going to be in the fight, stop healing him and start repairing the people that are actually going to make a contribution, because this is ridiculous, this guy. So after I say if he's not going to fight, stop healing him, he finally roars into action, popping wheelies and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And you know what? He's actually going to make a contribution. He's going to get in there, he's going to leverage his superior survivability with all those electroplates, along with his significant offensive potential to clear out a bunch of the guys that are causing us problems. In the meantime, my bot has gone from pretty much crippled and barely airborne to slightly less crippled and barely airborne. But I'm already looking at getting back into the fight. You know, hanging back a little bit, but still getting some shots in to help out as much as I can while I'm being repaired. It's the difference between winning and losing in a lot of cases. It's the person who sits in cover waiting until they're 100% versus the person who's kind of looking for an opportunity to get back into the fight. So I'll let you watch the rest of this. More Robocraft videos coming, and also Besiege. If you like the Besiege videos, we're going to be doing more of those as well. So if you want to be notified when I add those, you can follow me on social media. Links for that in the information section below the video. You can also subscribe to my channel. Please leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.